Hadoop is the quintessential framework for big data. For that reason, anyone concerned with big data should have some familiarity of the basics of Hadoop, and that is what we will cover in this lecture. Two concepts are central to Hadoop. The first is HDFS, which is the file system for Hadoop. Basically, just by storing things in HDFS, you are already ensuring fault tolerance, compatibility with certain big data frameworks, and so on and so forth. The details are abstracted and already worked out for you. The second concept of Hadoop is MapReduce, and we'll discuss it in more details in a moment. But first, know that you do not need to have a large cluster to learn or experiment with Hadoop. You can work with Hadoop in a Colab notebook or even locally. So I'll show you the basics of how to install it. Install Java. Then you download Hadoop from Apache. You'll be extracting and installing. And then once it is installed, we can see what types of commands are available to us. But these will not be too interesting since we are simply dealing with a file system. Mostly we'll be doing whatever you do in a terminal. So we can run jar files. Jars are like the executables of Java. And in this case, an example program which comes with Hadoop that used to verify that it has been installed successfully, and it runs MapReduce. And it is essentially queuing a job for Hadoop, and there can be a large queue of such jobs that take a long time and are basically queued for a cluster to execute. And you will be seeing outputs like this. You can track the job on a portal and see its progress, which computers in the cluster are working on what piece and what percentage of progress has been made. And as you can see, many details are available here. You would be recognizing this if you've worked with Hadoop. And ultimately, some output will be written out. So let's take a look again at an actual MapReduce job. So here I get a data set of newspapers, so newspaper articles. And then I'm going to create a custom MapReduce job. So you have your mappers and you have your reducers. And even though the details do not matter, basically the mappers perform some operations. So each computer, let's say, simply speaking, performs a mapping of sorts, say counts the words that are present in the documents that it receives. So the documents are distributed amongst the various computers in the cluster. And then there are reducer jobs, which might be adding up the counts of the different mappers. And then we can run this job. And specifying the mappers, the reducers, and the output file. Again, the usual record of progress will be taking place. And finally, in the output folder, which was specified above to be out, there are parts to the output, and this is the output of the job. So if we performed a count of each word in this set of documents, then we will be seeing these counts. And you can see, for example, the word although appears twice, and books appears 11 times, and so on and so forth. And such jobs can be made more sophisticated or tailored to our needs. For example, here the results are in alphabetical order. We could have done it by the count. If we are working the large set of documents, this could be n-grams, which is an exponentially large amount of computation, which calls for a cluster. So this lays the groundwork for how to get started with Hadoop and what kinds of things you can do with it.